Nothing fancy today. I wanted potatoes, so I made this cheesy potato casserole. So let's get started. First step, we need my measuring mug, and to it we're going to put a half a cup of milk. We're going to let that sit because it needs to be room temperature, at least close to. You don't want it right out of the fridge, and it's okay while we get stuff ready. Another measuring mug, and that is a half a cup of chicken broth. Yummy. This is working out good so far. Now the main ingredient, bag of hash browns. It's around 32 ounces. You can let them thaw out if you want. I really didn't. I mean, they're going to thaw out a little bit as they go. I just pulled them right out of the freezer. Doesn't that look good? Can't wait to get cooking. This will be a cup and a half of sour cream. Yummo. And we're going to give this a mix before we start adding other ingredients. And you just want to make sure everything's nice and evenly coated. So into a pan we need about a quarter cup, a half a stick of butter. I think that's pretty close right there. Let that start melting down. Now I didn't do it this time. I wish I would have. If you put a little bit of oil in with your butter, it won't burn. It's okay. We got it to work. I already had them chopped up. That's about a quarter cup-ish, maybe half a cup of onions. We're going to stir all that together. Let the onions get nice and coated. And we'll cook them for a couple minutes until they're nice and translucent and soft. That's about a good 2 teaspoons full of garlic, maybe 3 or 4 cloves, all nicely minced. And we'll mix that all together. If anything, at this point, it's smelling pretty good. A little bit of salt, not much, 1 teaspoon. And of course, a teaspoon of pepper. And if you want to go easy on both, go ahead. You don't even really have to add it. This is a teaspoon of cayenne pepper to give it a little kick. And of course, teaspoon-ish mustard powder. Yummy. It's all coming together great. Now we're going to thicken it up with a quarter cup of flour. And we're going to keep stirring that. It's going to get all nice and combined. It's kind of like a roux that I'm not very good at making, but you can see here it needs some liquid. So as soon as I can get her done, we're going to add the liquid. That's where doing this ahead of time comes in handy. So I'm doing the chicken broth first because I know it's hotter and I don't want the milk to go bad, of course, because that's always going to be a pain, curdling your milk. Then you got to start all over again. So you don't want that. So the half cup of chicken broth goes in. And you can see it's still a little thick, but that's okay. It's looking good. And let's throw our milk in now. And of course you just want to do a little bit at a time too, just because the pan is still hot. There we go. Okay, let's give it a complete mix. And you can see now just the difference between the paste we kind of started with and now. That looks pretty good. Let's put that off. So here's our potatoes. And now we're just going to add the whole thing to the potatoes. And let's mix this all together. Of course, where would we be without cheese? That's 2 cups. You know what, it might even be a little more. Does it really matter? No, not really. Put as much as you want. 2 is a good rule of thumb. We'll put this aside. Here's the pan we're going to use. Nice rectangle pan. We're going to put a little cooking spray in the bottom, because the last thing I want is everything to be stuck where I got to scrub it out. I hate that. So a little bit of spray works wonders. Now the hash browns go in first. I mean, this is so easy. You can put this together in no time at all, literally. I can think of a couple shortcuts I would use next time, just to make it a lot easier, but this does not take long to do. And it's so good. How do you go wrong with potatoes and cheese? So of course the idea here is we're going to spread it all out nice and even. This is our bottom layer and our main ingredient, the potatoes. So there you go, it's nice and even. Now we'll put this aside because we need a topping for it. In a bowl, that is 3 cups of corn flakes and a half stick of butter, melted of course. And now we're going to combine it. After doing this, this is the one change I would definitely make. I would probably crush them up a little bit in my food processor. You still get that wonderful corn flaky top, but they're not as big chunks. And I don't like big chunks, as you may know, or maybe you don't know. So I would definitely do it. You don't have to. It's just my own personal preference, I think. And if that's the case too, you could use like 4 cups or 5 cups. Like the corn flaky taste is beautiful. I just didn't like the big pieces. So that's what I would do to change it, and I will the next batch I make. It's all nice and spread out into the oven, and you're going to let that bake for 40 to 50 minutes till it's got a nice golden top on it, nice brown. Let's get this on a plate. Now you know what it is missing? More cheese on top. And I thought of that afterwards too. How can you have more cheese? But this is what we've got, and this is a great side dish for something a little different. See how it's nice and browned up on the bottom? Yum-o! And there you have it. Cheesy hash brown casserole. You're going to have to give it a try. You'll like it. Hey, another great recipe. I hope you'll give it a try. Leave me a comment below, one way or the other. Listen, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell, because that'll tell you the next time I upload a video. Feel free to share this and any of my other videos. And thanks for stopping by and watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.